A very warm welcome to the students of class 12 of different Kendra Vidyalayas of Dehradun region. I am Rajni Joshi from Kendra Vidyalaya Roorkee number 1. So today we are going to take up Indigo Part 2 by Louis Fisher. In Part 1 we discussed how Gandhiji is narrating to Louis Fisher about the Indigo movement in his Sevagram ashram. Gandhiji accepts Rajkumar Shukla's request to accompany him to Champaran for redressal of the problems of sharecroppers. En route to Champaran, Gandhiji meets the lawyers, chides them for charging high fees. He tells the peasants to be free from fear. He also studies the land arrangements and the recent development in Champaran. Now he begins by ascertaining facts from all. He arrives in Champaran, gets a cold response from the secretary of the British Association. Even the commissioner in Tirhut scoffs at Gandhiji, ordering him to leave the area. Gandhiji didn't heed to the commissioner's diktat. Instead, he, accompanied by an entourage of lawyers, proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. He began to ascertain facts from the people. Staying in a house, using it as a base, he began to seek details from those impacted. He came to know that in a nearby village, a peasant had received some heavy-handed treatment from the authorities. He decided to see them. Champaran sets the tone for future battles. Taken aback by Gandhiji's defiance and popularity, a representative of the commissioner asks Gandhiji and stops his tour and asks him to leave Champaran. Gandhiji receives a court summons. He calls Rajendra Prasad, the lawyer, for legal assistance. Crowds throng the court to see how Mahatma stands up to the British power. For Gandhiji, it was the first successful mobilization of the public for an anti-colonial cause. The turn of events in Motihari would mark a watershed in Indo-British history. A confused prosecution asks for adjournment. Gandhiji refuses to sign the bail bond. The judges lets him off without bail as he adjourns the hearings to a later date. Gandhiji, here in the picture we see, appears before Champaran court in response to summons, and in support of him you can see the peasants of Champaran, the lawyers, the people of Champaran. Champaran makes history. The battle in Champaran was taking unforeseen course with lawyers weighing possible options. Few lawyers seemed divided on supporting Mahatma. But timely intervention by Rajendra Prasad changed the course unequivocally in favor of Gandhiji. He implored his fellow lawyer friends to proactively support Gandhiji as his cause was their cause too. The lawyers see reason and they assure Gandhiji that they would too court arrest with him. And this makes Gandhiji remark that the battle of Champaran is won. Case against Gandhiji is dropped by the Lieutenant Governor. A massive exercise begins to gather evidence, and here lawyers also participate with Gandhiji. Mahatma is summoned by Lieutenant Governor Sir Edward Gate amidst fear that he might be arrested. Civil disobedience movement scores its first win. The Lieutenant Governor Sir Edward Gate agreed to set up a commission of inquiry on the woes and plight of indigo farmers. The commission had British landlord, owners, government functionaries, and Gandhiji was the sole representative of the peasants, downtrodden, dispossessed indigo growers, the sharecroppers. The British landlord remained adamant on not giving up their right over the land, despite the massive evidence gathered. And to break this deadlock, Gandhiji agreed to reduce the farmers' demands by 50%. Finally, the settlement was reached at the British side. The landowners would give 25% of the demands raised by the peasants. Champaran signaled the tones of future battles against the empire where the sun did not set. It demonstrated that civil disobedience was a potent weapon against the most powerful nation. And Champaran had lit the fire with its unique first-time victory against colonial dominance and oppression. So not only it was a monetary setback for the British landlords, but also they had surrendered their prestige. Champaran is Mahatma's lifelong guide. The impact of Champaran Satyagraha was slow but far-reaching. Gradually, the British landlords, they gave up all their land rights over the vast states. This was a long-term gain. Local farmers got back their land and freed from indigo farming, they could go back to exploring other options of cultivation. The lessons of Champaran's struggle were to be visible in Gandhiji's future struggle against the imperialist power. He demonstrated his ability to negotiate repeatedly with long-term implications in mind. Gandhiji had to stay in Champaran for 7 months and several shorter visits, and see that his stand was vindicated to the benefit of poor peasants. Thus, a reluctant meeting with Rajkumar Shukla culminated in the emergence of Mahatma as a taciturn crusader. Looking beyond the immediate, the struggle in Champaran convinced that scourge of poverty is the root cause of exploitation by the colonial masters. The suffering masses had to be empowered to challenge the imperialist power, and here education became the center stage for an effective political fight. Gandhiji asked his disciples Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh, who along with their wives agreed to assist in this gigantic task. To address the challenges faced by the prevalent diseases in the area, Gandhiji utilized 3 basic medicines: castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. The next step was the dirt and unhygienic conditions all around. And here his wife Kasturbai joined the battle against uncleanliness and community sanitation. Light from Crusade in Champaran. The brush with poverty that shrouded Champaran and most parts of India spurred Gandhiji to action. The small experiments that he conducted to fight illiteracy and disease filled Gandhiji with confidence. Mahatma became convinced that Indians can take reins of their destiny onto their own hands, and the British could not lord over them. The most significant message from Champaran for Gandhiji was that the British could not order the people as they wished. So Champaran did not start as an act of defiance, but an exercise to alleviate the distress of poor peasants. It's a small spark that sets the stage for revolution. Gandhiji had lit the light for freedom in Champaran. A Masiha for the downtrodden. Champaran may be a forgotten place today. However, events in distant Bihar were tumultuous, for it shaped India's struggle for freedom in the 20th century. For Mahatma had outlined that lofty political goals, they had to be pursued hand in hand with the efforts to address immediate issues. So, giving political and economic solution would not be sufficient, but social and cultural upliftment of people was also very important. Gandhiji was a great motivator and a team builder. With relative ease, he managed to build a large group of inspired volunteers. Here, Charles Freer Andrews joins Gandhiji in Champaran, a foreigner, a Britisher, and a great meeting of the two kindly souls takes place. As Rajendra Prasad later pointed out, that the Mahatma had correctly judged how self-reliance was key to the people's battle against scourges that enfeebled them. He was suggested by others, Gandhiji was suggested that he could take the help of a foreigner, Charles Freer Andrews, in fighting the British power. But Gandhiji refused. He said, we need to be self-reliant to fight our own battles. Now, let us have a quick recap of the lesson, Gandhiji's Champaran experiment. Gandhiji accepts request of a Champaran farmer. Rajkumar Shukla's persuasion of Gandhiji pays off, and he agrees to raise problems of sharecroppers. Gandhiji reaches out to people on way to Champaran. Rajendra Prasad, Kriplani, Malkani, students, lawyers, the peasants, they all join Gandhiji. And people flock as Gandhiji goes to Champaran. So he had mass mobilization of people who were there to support him. Land settlement tilted against local farmers. Local farmers were forced to cultivate indigo. Synthetic indigo harmed the farmers' interests. So this was the grievance of the sharecroppers of Champaran when Gandhiji reached Champaran. Triumph of civil disobedience. Administration, the British administration, they were forced to address concerns. And Gandhiji's flexibility finally enables the resolution. So to break the deadlock, Gandhiji first demanded 50% compensation, but later agreed to 25%. Because money was not his main consideration. The consideration was that the British landlords had surrendered their prestige, and the Indian peasants, they had learned to fight for their rights, and they were now free from fear. Social and cultural upliftment of people. Apart from political and economic solutions, he thought that cultural and social upliftment of the place was very important. He seeks volunteers to educate poor people. He focuses on health hygiene of citizens. So, Gandhiji's Champaran experiment, it set the pace for our struggle for freedom and finally gave us our independence. Thank you. Champaran road to India's independence. The fight of Satyagraha is for the strong in spirit, not the doubter or the timid. Satyagraha teaches us the art of living as well as dying. So Champaran was a road to India's independence. Thank you.